I'm Coach Tom, the Hormone Unlock Weight Loss Specialist. I encourage you to do what it takes to elevate your feel-good hormones and decrease your stress, fight, or freeze hormones. If you're a woman over 35 going through a menopausal transition, you're not feeling comfortable in your own skin, no motivation, unable to sleep at night, yet you're tired all day long, no sex drive, low libido, everything just seems to be going on the decline. And you know it's because of your hormones, even if your doctor gives you confusing information like, don't worry, your test came back fine. You're just getting older. Just got to deal with it, just the way it is. It doesn't have to be the way it is. And you're right, it is your hormones. What I'm about to show you will surprise you. Are stress hormones holding you back? Is it more than the declining estrogen? Or do you have a fat attitude? Here's what I mean. First, let me tell you a story. I met Hope in May of 2023, and she was 315 pounds, and she'd sort of given up hope. She'd given up hope because she tried everything and nothing worked, and her doctors told her there's nothing wrong with her. Just stop eating French fries with your burger. Have a salad instead. Exercise more. Eat less. She's like, I'm already doing that. I've been doing that. She went to doctor after doctor. Nothing worked. Now, here's the interesting part. Hope was 105 pounds in high school. Her weight went up, but each time you see a weight spike, it's because of a hormone change or a stress event in her life, a stress reaction. When she got her first period, when she hit menopause, those all created the weight spikes. But you can see after she hit menopause, the weight just went up, up, and up. Now, with our hormone unlock weight loss method, Hope lost weight. This is her first post. She lost more weight by September, and it was all by healing her metabolic hormones. Because, yes, when estrogen goes down, it takes away your neurogenetic armor, and it's easy to gain weight and hard to lose it. But when you heal your metabolism hormones, it goes up. When you heal your metabolism hormones, you're actually able to reverse that menopausal weight gain. So she's down 75 pounds by October, and she's made it a lifestyle. So by Thanksgiving, she is down over 90 pounds. Are you kidding me? Nope. That's really what happened. Now, her journey was more than her metabolism hormone balancing. We had to also focus on her emotion hormones. Because remember, each time you see a spike in Hope's weight, she either had a hormonal event or a life stress event. Turns out the two are very connected. Your stress hormones and your metabolism hormones are keeping you stuck. So we've already identified you're in menopause, perimenopause, or post-menopause. That means estrogen levels are going down. Nothing we can do about that. It's part of your natural evolution as a woman. And up to this point, estrogen was like your neurogenetic armor. It helped you keep the weight off. It helped you feel good. It helped balance the other hormones. Estrogen and progesterone, well, now that your ovaries are no longer making them, they're going down. And in a sense, you've lost your neurogenetic superpower armor. However, your metabolism hormones should be stepping up to keep the weight off and to help regulate your moods. But there's another type of hormone that's holding you back. And those are your stress and emotion hormones. Oh, I know I'm stressed. I just need to stress less. I need to relax more. I know. Yes, but it's gone on for so long, it's now become your normal program. It's what your body has become used to. Unless you change the programs that are running in your subconscious mind, in your hormones, and in your neurochemicals, it will be nearly impossible to reverse this weight gain. Because if you're a woman, especially if you're a mom, especially if you work, especially if you have a husband, you know what stress is. But I will give you another definition. It's an imbalance. It's when your perceived idea of what you have to do, what you must do, or what you better do or else is different than what you're actually doing. Stress is created inside our body, inside our brain, and it is not necessary. Some stress is, but a lot of the stress we feel each day, not necessary at all. It's from our thoughts and our emotions. Our thoughts create feelings, and our feelings create thoughts. Back and forth, back and forth. And here's the thing. If you get stuck on a thought, and this is a stressful thought, and you think about it all day long, you are going to continue releasing those stress hormones all day long. Like, let's take a deer running from a tiger in the forest or jungle or wilderness. It's running. It's so stressed. Fight or flight hormones are going. Its muscles are working. Its heart rate increases. Everything's happening. But the moment that deer gets away and escapes the tiger, the stress hormones go down. The stress reaction goes down. But as humans, we're different. We have the choice to think about and feel whatever we want. Say you're having a fight with your husband or one of your kids, a coworker, a family member. Say something stressful happens. It's stressful while it's happening. You feel the feelings, you think the thoughts. But as humans, we have the option, the privilege, the gift and the curse of choosing to continue thinking about that throughout the day. And the more we think about it throughout the day, the more we release the stress hormones. I call them the freeze, fight, or flight hormones. And we can choose to think about them all day long and feel those feelings all day long. And most likely, you have been. In fact, there's a book called, I have it right here, The Rushing Women Syndrome. If you have an ongoing to-do list in your head, thinking about the next thing you must do, instead of being in the present moment, instead of now being, if you spend your whole day doing the thing you're doing, but also thinking about all the things you must do, have to do, should have already done. That's the rushing women syndrome. And that's an ongoing, all day long cortisol stress hormone drip. So we're basically in that fight, flight, or freeze state all day long, and we get so used to it, it just seems normal. Thoughts happen. Us humans, we are able to think a lot, and we do. 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And guess what? Most of them are repetitive. And most of them are stress related. We're thinking the same stressful thoughts again and again, releasing the same stressful hormones again and again, creating the same stress reactions, behaviors again and again, and the cycle keeps repeating. Well, that is an ongoing cortisol stress hormone drip into our body. And there's so many things to stress about. And lots of it is judging, analyzing, trying to figure it out, trying to control what others think of us, wondering what others think of us, wondering what we think of ourselves, criticizing ourselves, just thinking about things that have nothing to do with the present moment, with what's going on right now. Now, there is a big reason I want you to become aware of this. These stress hormones, these thoughts, these feelings, they add up to actions. Stress eating, emotional eating is huge. I mean, it's a huge reactionary response to the negative stress hormones and the feelings and emotions that go with it. Feelings, the emotions, and the thoughts add up to an action. And eventually, that action becomes automatic. You ever walk by the refrigerator and find yourself just opening it, even though you're not hungry and it's not time for dinner? It's the same reaction a drug addict has when they're thinking about, oh, when do I get to do it again? Can I do it again? Should I do it again? Because it's a safety mechanism that makes us feel safe. Now, this is hormone related and this is neurochemically related. Let's dive in. Yes. Before we dive in any further, I want to reconfirm that yes, estrogen going down has impacted it, but it hasn't caused all these symptoms. It basically brought them to the light, exasperated them, so to speak, because the other hormones weren't balanced already. The stress was already there, but when estrogen went down and that neurogenetic armor was removed, it became very obvious, and by now it's getting impossible to ignore. Now, it's more than estrogen going down, and you have more than just your sex hormones. Estrogen, by the way, is a sex hormone. Now, I won't go too in depth on the differences between the hormones, but I will tell you that the sex hormones, that's where we get our libido. Estrogen and progesterone, they're going down. Women, you don't have a lot of testosterone, but you do have some. By the way, side note, even though your ovaries stop making estrogen and progesterone, your adrenal glands continue to make them for the rest of your life. And you'll continue to have cycles for the rest of your life, even though you don't bleed. Just a quick side note. Okay, metabolism hormones, that's what keeps you not being fat. That's what keeps you healthy. And it essentially takes the food you eat and turns it into energy, or stores it as fat, or uses already stored fat as energy. Your stress hormones, that's what we're going to dive into. And your feel-good hormones, oh, those we want more of. Let's figure out how. But I want you to know this. Your stress hormones are causing more health issues, lack of productivity issues, and they're impacting all the other hormones. No hormone works alone. It's all connected. So when you see one hormone, you see them all because they're all impacting one another. The weight loss part is easy. I can help women lose 20, 30, 40 pounds in my sleep as long as they follow simple plan and timed eating protocol, their daily fast-fed rhythm. The metabolism hormones are relatively simple to regulate and get your body to turn back on the fat-burning machinery as long as you do it consistently. But what I've learned through working with Hope and lots of other women, that it doesn't matter if we get the metabolism hormones aligned. If the stress hormones are out of whack, we're going to hit a brick wall. We're not going to lose any more weight. It'll be the plateau of all plateaus. So to ignore the stress hormones, and I call it your neuroepigenetic alignment, but ignoring your stress hormones is ignoring progress. So we're going to tell you about that right now. First of all, let's talk about states, because your attitude equals your state equals your personality. And these are the fight or flight freeze states. And all of them trigger different hormones. All of them impact your body's overall authentic energy. Some people call it a vibration or frequency. The neuroscience and the hormones, you can measure them. They are impacted based on your state. And the higher up you go, the better it gets. But right here, not so bueno. The lowest state is shame. But when we're feeling like rushing around, trying to get lots of things done, rushing women syndrome, right there, it is depleting our authentic energy, it's taking away our productivity, and it's making us sick. And this applies to women and men, but women, you have a tougher time because of the recent decrease in estrogen. That's why I specialize in helping you. So these are states. And the longer you stay in a state, the more it becomes your attitude, your personality, and the way you show up every day. But it's not just the way you show up with other people, it's what's happening in your endocrine system, in your hormone balance, and your ability to burn fat for energy, your ability to be productive and joyful, to have libido. It's all impacted by your stress hormones. Your freeze, fight, or flight hormones. Here they are. Cortisol, epinephrine is also known as adrenaline, and norepinephrine is sort of adrenaline's little counterpart. You need these to survive, and they definitely keep you safe in times of danger. But when these are being released all day long, they put your health in danger. They wire your body to feel a stressful, anxiety, fearful, rushing all day long. And some women wear that like a badge of honor, but it is keeping your body fat on, especially the belly fat. It's raising insulin levels. It is eventually going to make you sick beyond just being overweight, because these stress hormones impact all the other hormones. Insulin resistance, one of the things. Cortisol causes insulin resistance. It decreases your feel-good hormones. By the way, you want the feel-good hormones. It elevates your heart rate, makes you feel like you feel like you're in danger, but you're not really. Your brain just created that, and the program becomes so hardwired, it's running all day long. And here's another thing. Say you get in a fight with your in-law, your mother-in-law, and it reminds you of other fights you've had with her that you've stuffed down. Just that trigger of the fight you had with her today will bring up those other memories, and your body remembers. Your body keeps the score. It gets buried in your subconscious, buried in your feeling tank, and when another fight with her happens, it triggers it, and it all comes out again. So hormones plus neurochemicals equal emotions, and stored emotions, well, they eventually get triggered and come out. And this is going to cause anxiety, fear, frustration, brain fog, overwhelm. Any of these sound familiar? And these lead to your fight or flight. When you're in fight or flight emotional state, it completely stops fat burning. When your body needs to move and it feels like it's in danger, it conserves all the fat. So fat burning gets shut off. So you've been doing this for year after year after year after year. It's not just estrogen going down. You have methodically, but unintentionally, turned off your body's fat burning machinery. And because of that, your body's forgotten how to burn fat. And it won't permanently shift back into a healthy fat burning state until you take away the programs that are telling it you're always in danger. Because that chronic state of fight or flight, definitely weight gain, definitely belly fat, definitely low libido, definitely low productivity, but it will eventually cause disease. Neuroepigenetic diseases that could be prevented will creep up because of this chronic stress syndrome. Now, there's lots you can do about it. And I'm going to teach you the breathe technique now because lowering your fight or flight response is absolutely key. You can write it out and you're going to raise your awareness. Now, I'm going to give you this whole list because you can't do them all at once. But if you start with number one, the breathing technique I'm going to show you, you can actually lower your fight or flight stress response on the spot. And when you address it, right when it happens, you absolutely eliminate the stress hormones that are flowing through your body. First, remember, you can't control everything. So focus on what you can control. Control what you can. You can't control what anyone's thinking about you. You can't control what's going to happen 4 hours from now. You can't control what's happened in the past. But you can focus on being in the present moment, now being. But you have to have an action to take. Just to say this theoretically, philosophically, it's not going to help you. But if you have an action you take, as soon as you realize, uh-oh, there's that stress response. There I go again, stressing about danger. I'm not being chased by a tiger, but yet I feel like I am. 4-7-8 breathing, without getting deep into the nerdy science, because I like that stuff, I'm just going to show you how to do it. First of all, you recognize when you are having a stress response, and 4 counts in through the nose. Hold it for 7, and then exhale through 8. Try it right now. I recommend doing it for a minute, but after 3 or 4 breaths, it calms down your vagus nerve, it calms down your autonomic nervous system, and guess what? You create space. That's what healing is all about. Creating space to let the old, not so positive programs downregulate and to make space for your authentic, healthy programs to upregulate. So breathing, teaching your body to be calm, will teach it, hey, I guess we're not always in danger. And your breathing is interesting. It's controlled by your autonomic nervous system when you're not paying attention, but at any given time, you can take control of it and completely change your body's emotional state. Now, most of you won't do it because it's so simple, it's free, and it's easy. Well, look at it like this. After you learn to do something, it's free for you forever. So I encourage you to take this as high value, like you paid $1 million for it, and start practicing it today. It will literally change your life. The next one I recommend is write it out. Your F3 journal. F3 can stand for fasting, food, and feelings. And by the way, you're not just fasting from food. You're fasting from the old thoughts, the old beliefs, the old programs, the old attitude. Because remember, your thoughts, your beliefs, your values, your environment, they all come together to form your attitude, your personality. And F3 can also stand for freeze, flight, or fight, the feelings. But when you write it out, it actually lets the emotions, the energy, flow from your body, where it's stored, onto the paper, or even type it out, and you process it in a way that gives you relief. It relieves that fight or flight stress. And that's what we want, because unless those fight or flight hormones get downregulated, you're going to continue to have the same symptoms. Awareness. Awareness is a powerful word. When you can become the observer of your thoughts, the observer of your feelings, imagine you float up to a safe orbit and you're looking down or looking upon your own self, and you can observe it and be aware of it instead of identifying with your thoughts and identifying with your feelings. I'm here to tell you, you are not your thoughts, you're not your feelings. They are created inside you. But you are an awareness that can observe them and actually sort of cut them off at the pass before they do more damage. And redirect your attention to thoughts, feelings, beliefs that actually serve you and align with your authentic best self. Remember, you have goals in life, and one of your goals is probably to lose weight, or you wouldn't be watching this video. And you have a reason to lose that weight. You want to feel better, you want to look better, you want to fit in your old clothes. Well, at all given times, any new intention, any new goal you have, it's directly fighting against your old programs. I call them your SP programs, shame, pain, self-protective, because at some point in your life, those programs kept you safe. And those are thinking programs, belief programs, those are emotional programs, and they're sometimes automatic reaction programs. But they're just programs. They're not who you are. You're not your thoughts, you're not your feelings, and you're not your old programs. You are the authentic self that's always been in there that just needs space to flow and take over control again. Now, here are 3 takeaways for today. The breathing, 4-7-8 breathing. Do it every morning, do it every evening, and do it whenever you feel the stress response coming on. Number 2, write it out. Have time each day, whether it's in the evening, middle of the day, or right on the spot, to write it out. Process what you're feeling, process what you're thinking, process how you reacted, and how you'll do it differently. I have a whole system for this called the R3 technique that I teach my clients, and I hope to teach to you in another video. For now, write it out authentically, honestly, and that emotion will no longer have the storage space inside your body and subconscious. And practice awareness. You could start with hunger awareness. Am I really hungry? Go to food awareness. What kind of food am I putting in my mouth right now? And then go to thought awareness, emotion awareness. What am I thinking right before I felt that negative feeling? What was I doing? What did I automatically do? Was that a program or was that my authentic self? Remember, become the observer of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And become aware of if they are authentic and aligned with your intention, your goals, what you want for yourself, or if they're programs that have been pulling you off course with stress hormones for years and years and years, but now you're finally aware of them so you can do something about it. Action breeds clarity, and clarity and clearing space for something new is where your healing will begin. But this information without action is just more mind clutter in your brain, and you don't need that. I'm here to help, and if you want to be helped, just use this information and put it into action. I'm Coach Tom, the Hormone Unlock weight loss specialist, and the most grateful man on the planet. One of the reasons I'm so grateful is gratitude elevates the feel-good hormones and decreases the cortisol hormones. I encourage you to do what it takes to elevate your feel-good hormones and decrease your stress, fight, or freeze hormones.